Yeah, hello. My name is Samuel Meerbrot. I'm working for CIB and I'm presenting the LibreOffice Safe Mode. That's a new feature in the 5.3 release. And first of all, what is Safe Mode and why do we need it? You may know Safe Mode from Windows. When you have a broken driver, you start the Safe Mode to fix things. It disables some drivers and some other things. Or Thunderbird and Firefox have a Safe Mode, which disables their add-ons and other stuff. And we had similar problems in LibreOffice. Users were reporting problems that we couldn't reproduce, and often they were related to their user profile, containing some broken settings. There is an example of a bug report. Writer crashes on startup because it fails to parse the registry modifications, which contains the settings the user changed. Yeah. And for users, it was the only solution often was to find the folder which contained the user profile and delete it. There was no real method to restore such a broken system. And so TDF published a tender last year to implement such a safe mode, and as CIB we did that. And the goal was to allow the user to identify and fix issues with the user profile. How do I access the safe mode? There are three options. The LibreOffice has in the menu a command in the help menu, restart in safe mode. Then you have a start menu entry in Windows, LibreOffice safe mode, and a command line option that should be --. This is autocorrection, made it into a long dash. You can use that on macOS or Linux. What are the features? It uses a temporary clean user profile, and it also disables hardware acceleration like OpenGL and OpenCL temporarily, because there were some users experiencing crashes due to OpenGL on startup, and when you can't start LibreOffice, you also cannot fix that, only by manually editing the configuration files. So this is one thing we made easier with that. And when you start it, you get that dialog, which has some options to restore and reset several things. I will show it later, and I will show some use cases, what you can do with that. And also it allows to create a zip file from the user profile, which helps if you want to send it to someone or upload it on the bug tracker for the developers to analyze it. The first use case, LibreOffice doesn't start, what should I do? And before, we told users, try deleting the folder containing your user profile. Where is that folder? It differs on different operating systems, so they needed to find that and rename it or delete it. That means all their settings are gone, all their extensions are gone, and also their word book is gone, the words they added to their own word book, and stuff like that. Another thing that could be broken is that it doesn't start because OpenGL has a crash, and in that case the users need to put some setting in the Windows registry or edit the configuration manually. And now we tell them start LibreOffice in safe mode with one of the methods I mentioned, and then you already see it will hopefully start up again. Then it was an issue with the user profile, and then you have some options to disable hardware acceleration or to reset certain parts of the user profile or the whole profile. Another use case, I changed option XY, and now LibreOffice doesn't work anymore, or it works different than before. And before, the solution was, delete your user profile. And now we can tell them, go to the safe mode and restore the last configuration backup. There is a backup functionality included. It is not yet enabled by default in 5.3. but you can enable it by setting some ini options. I will explain that later. Hopefully it will be enabled for the next release. Yeah?
You've got an auto save for configuration, because no one I know has a configuration backup, except in the normal system backup.
Yeah, there will be backups created when you change something. You can configure what will be included in that backup. I will explain that later. Okay, the next use case, I broke everything. I want to reset LibreOffice to factory settings. Before, the solution was delete your user profile with the same problem. Where is it? Now they can go to safe mode and select reset entire user profile. The next use case, my extension don't work, or my extensions don't work anymore. Okay, right. Or they are breaking things. Before you could go to the extension manager and disable or remove them one by one. That's fine. Now you can disable or reset them with one click, or even remove them, the user extensions at least. There are 3 types of extensions bundled, the extensions we deliver with LibreOffice. Then you can install them shared for all users, and for these 2 types you can only disable them, and for your own extensions, which are only for the current user, you can remove them. Okay, another use case, I was requested to send my user profile to some bug tracker or some support system. Where do I find it? And before we had a nice wiki page with instructions. On Windows it is in app data, LibreOffice for user, and Linux it is in the home directory .config LibreOffice for user, etc. And now you can find that folder by going to the Safe Mode, and there is an advanced section. There you can either click a button to show the user profile folder, or directly create a zip file out of it, and yeah, do whatever you want with that zip file. Okay, that's the part of the configuration for the backups. Yeah, there are various ini properties, and the default values are what is given here. Default means in current master, hopefully 5.4. So secure user config means the backup is enabled. Yeah, false means it's disabled, it's clear. Then secure user config compress is whether it will be compressed or not. Number of copies, the next item is how many copies are kept. The default is 2. And then there is an item secure user config mode. There are 3 numbers you can give, 0, 1 and 2. 0 means it backups only the registry modifications, yeah, like the changes you did to the settings. Then 1 is the default. It also backups autocorrection, auto text, basic scripts, configurations, databases, registry scripts, templates, and the workbook. Yeah, we excluded certain parts like the gallery because that might become too big. And 2 means the whole user profile, whatever is in there, because extensions can also put content there. Maybe you want to back up that too. Secure user config extensions is a feature that remembers the last state of extensions that worked. So if you install a new extension and LibreOffice doesn't work afterwards, you can restore the last working state of the extensions, meaning that extension will be disabled at the next start. Okay, how to customize the default values. These values are defined in the installation directory, program soffice.ini or soffice.rc on Linux. Don't know what is in macOS. Then you can use the -env command line parameter to give each of these options a different value. or a normal environment variable. Okay, now the demo. Okay, so I just start by customizing my toolbar, and somehow I managed to remove all the icons there. Yeah, and now I have I'm missing lots of icons from my toolbar. Then I can go to restart in safe mode, restart. It's giving some Java warnings because Java isn't configured anymore. And then I get this dialog. Yeah, I can restore the last known working configuration from the backup. Configure is can disable all user extensions. I don't have an extension, so that's disabled. Or disable hardware acceleration. Extensions can deinstall, uninstall all user extensions, or reset the state of shared extensions or of bundled extensions. I mentioned all of that, what it means. Or I can reset to factory settings. There is an option, reset settings and user interface modifications. That might be helpful for such a case as now. It resets toolbar customizations, menu bar customization, and also everything you change in tools options. You might want to do that if a new release contains an updated menu bar or an updated toolbar. If you customized it before, you won't get the update, so you can reset it here. Yeah, or in my case, I could restore the toolbar as it was before. Apply changes and restart, and there it is as it used to be. Okay, now once again, in safe mode, I can use the start menu entry to show that. There it is, LibreOffice safe mode. Yeah, or no safe mode. Try again. Okay, we found a bug. Okay, so there's the advanced section. Says if you experience problems that cannot be resolved by using the safe mode, you can get help. That leads to the LibreOffice site where you can report a bug or whatever, or has links to forums. Then there is show user profile, which opens the folder with the user profile. The folder safe mode contains the backed up user profile. Yeah, because this is the clean user profile now. And then there is create zip archive from user profile, and then you have it there. Yeah, that was the LibreOffice safe mode. Are there any questions? Yeah?
Why did this Java warning pop up when you restarted in safe mode?
Because there is no Java configuration anymore.
Yeah, but what, so you have bundled extensions or something that...
I might have something that uses Java.
Because normally you wouldn't need, if you disable, for example, your own extensions in safe mode, then there wouldn't be any need, except if you have some bundled extensions that you need to install.
Yeah, probably I have something that requires Java.
There was flashing that that splash screen that shows some lines of doing something with extensions, so you probably have lots of extensions, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah?
Default is your lines backup is to add databases to the backup system, right?
Yeah.
And I would be afraid of large databases. And how about the calculation of size in order to get information from the user if it exceeds some value or if the disk occupation goes below 10%? I don't know.
Yeah, that's one reason why it is only enabled in master. We have some time frame until the 5.4 release to hopefully find those corner cases. Databases, I don't really know what it contains, but it doesn't contain your base databases because you save them somewhere, wherever you want. They are not by default saved in the user profile, as far as I know.
Okay. It just contains the configuration stuff, and it's all zip compressed. So when I tested that stuff, you might have about 4 backups which have then the same size as the user configuration, and usually you have just 1 backup. So it's 1/4 to 1/3 of the user configuration. Pretty small.
No danger from this side. It was just data.
You always have danger that hard disk may be full, but you can avoid that.
By the way, what happens in case of the disk is full?
Normally people go to the supermarket and
Warning.
Okay, my time is over. Yeah.
So I was wondering, normally when you edit a document and you make a mistake, you have an undo button, and it has a nice label saying what the changes that you would like to revert. The dialogues you just showed, for an average user, I think look very scary. And if it just had a label, undo the removal of the icons, I think that would be more user-friendly. I mean, a user is quite panicky in a situation like this, right? And he has to go to save mode. So any type of scary dialogue might discomfort them more. Do you think it's feasible to have nice labels like with undo for what you are going to reset?
Yeah, one could list the configuration options. They usually have labels.
Still scary.
Yeah, it won't be so nice like undo, but maybe there is some room for improvement. Yeah, good idea. Okay, thank you.